For over 36 years, Jews, Muslims, Christians, people of all faiths and none have been marching for Palestine.
This is what hurts them, when Palestinians and Jewish people stand together, kiss each other and hold each other together, because we are brothers. You are imposters, Zionists, you're imposters.
The annual London Al-Quds Day rally is, and always has been, a peaceful, family-friendly, pro-Palestinian campaign organised by groups including the IHRC. For the last 10 years, however, as anti-Muslim sentiment in Britain has increased, there has been a small group of fiercely pro-Israel counter-demonstrators that have turned up to the Al-Quds Day rally. They include far-right agitators such as the EDL, who have been trying to create a toxic and threatening environment. We have always continued to march peacefully in full coordination with the police and local authorities. This year though, this collective joined forces with media outlets and controversial commentators and launched an unprecedented, libelous and hate-filled campaign against Al-Quds Day and the IHRC.
The so-called Islamic Human Rights Commission, the IHRC, a Khomeinist backing organisation, a pro-Iranian regime organisation that wants to raise Hezbollah flags in London today. The London Bridge attacker, none other than Khurram Butt, was flying the ISIS flag with impunity in our parks to the point where he was brazenly displaying it on a television documentary, and the police therefore knew this guy was an ISIS supporter. He ends up stabbing people on London Bridge. He was flying this ISIS flag with impunity and nothing was done. He ends up stabbing people in London Bridge. 2 weeks afterwards, up to 1,000 people are going to be flying another terrorist flag in our city.
And so, with full impunity and without giving IHRC or Al-Quds Day organisers a right to reply, this outrageous rhetoric was given a platform by mainstream outlets like LBC. Controversial commentators like Majid Nawaz repeated the kind of scaremongering that Muslims have become all too familiar with, using outdated and mischievous foreign policy stereotypes to facilitate a politics of fear. A strategy long peddled by neocons and fascists, and now by so-called anti-terror Muslim reformists. In outrageously libelous claims, thousands of ordinary British Muslims and non-Muslims who have been marching peacefully for nearing 4 decades were likened to ISIS, and a direct connection made between them and the recent London Bridge terrorist attacks. Ordinary, peaceable, law-abiding citizens were repeatedly called terrorist sympathisers. The same narrative was repeated by niche media outlets calling for protest and reiterated by figures like Tommy Robinson. The Zionist Federation launched an unprecedented campaign to pressure police and the mayoral office to ban the march. Simultaneously, the IHRC and Al-Quds Day organisers started receiving death threats and calls for the march to be attacked. On Sunday 18th June, the Al-Quds Day rally took place in the same spirit of togetherness as it always has.
We will now start a minute of silence.
We held a 1-minute silence for the victims of the Grenfell fire as counter-protesters booed us. Their keynote speaker was British-Israeli Kay Wilson. She tweeted this photo from the day, proudly posing with Neil Masterson, who was jailed for 16 months for attacking then MP George Galloway whilst wearing an IDF t-shirt. Here is Kay Wilson with Tommy Robinson. Several hours after the demonstration, a man drove his van into a crowd of mosque-goers in Finsbury Park. 1 man died and 10 were injured in the terrorist attack. Eyewitnesses reported that the night before, the man was at a pub in the suburbs of Cardiff railing against Muslims and the Al-Quds Day march, shouting that they were taking over and he was going to stop it all. National media reported that the Finsbury Park terror suspect planned to attack Al-Quds Day but made it to London too late for the event. Police are now investigating these claims. Darren Osborne has been arrested and charged with terrorism-related murder. He appeared at a brief bail hearing on Tuesday, 27th June, where he spoke only to confirm his name and did not apply for bail. He will next appear at the Old Bailey on 20th July. The Islamic Human Rights Commission have been monitoring and analysing anti-Muslim hatred for 2 decades. We are experts in our field. Our academic research and surveys of British Muslims have found a worrying trend of Islamophobia in our society that has created an environment of hate. We have long been talking about the consequences of this environment and the increase in Islamophobic attacks in videos like this one.
IHRC believes these attacks don't happen in a vacuum. No one is born a racist. The environment they grow up in affects their beliefs and can provoke some people to commit acts of hatred. What do we mean by environment? We mean the language that politicians and the media use. We mean the laws and policies made by the government and its institutions. The inevitable effect of the laws, the policies, the media, and the negative rhetoric of politicians is to create an environment of hate. When Muslims are continuously demonized, it becomes easy to attack them, and easier to do other things too, like start wars in Muslim countries.
The IHRC condemns the campaign against us and Al-Quds Day that fits into this environment of hate. We reject the allegations made against us. We are part of the solution. We believe it is those accusing us who are part of the problem.